descendant of Clan Dumbrong, and I'll be shooting for my own hand.
What are you doing?
Merida! Curse this dress! Merida, stop this! Don't you dare loose another arrow! Merida, I forbid it!
What's up, Frost Bros? Welcome back to How to Elder Scrolls. Currently, specifically, how to do every class in Arena. And in today's episode, we're reviewing, or at least I'm reviewing, the Stealth Archer class, and then I'm going to play test it and, of course, tell my thoughts. So sit back, grab yourself a coffee, and let's get into this. Alright, so the Archer class is the second class alphabetically in the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, and as you can see, the Archer class has an experience table of D, which puts it one rating below the Acrobats from their last episode, which means they level up slightly slower than usual. And of course, they have a hit die of D16, which is actually pretty decent. Not the best hit die, but it's a little better than half of the dice, the hit die of a barbarian, which is pretty good. You know, definitely a decent warrior style character. And of course, acrobats also get access to all weapons, meaning they can use any weapon in the entire game, which is pretty nice to have pretty nice and handy. You can wear up to chain mail armor, which is really decent. You're not allowed to use any shields, sadly. That's going to be true for these first 3 episodes of class reviews. And of course, your thievery efficiency is 25%. This is the normal base thievery for every class that isn't a, well, thief-style class. You get no spell points. However, you get a 3% critical strike chance per level, and you get a broadsword as your starting weapon. However, for archers in particular, this 3 times critical strike chance, this strike chance only applies to attacks with missile weapons, bows, and short bows. And you get, well, a 3% chance plus another 3% plus another 3% as you level up of just doing double damage every time you shoot someone, which is really good. And of course down here you can see this here is the experience you need for leveling up as an archer. Last episode this was what acrobats used, so of course reaching level 2 would require 1,000 experience, but for an archer it requires 1,100, and as you can see it just kind of ramps up ever so slightly more, to the point where reaching level 20 as an archer requires a little over 9 million experience. Alright, so this is actually under the warriors archetype. So yes, indeed, archers are in fact a warrior archetype. Archers are the marksmen of the Empire, adept at using any missile weapon during melee. That's just ironic, isn't it? Using any melee missile weapon for ranged during melee. I'm going to shoot you at point blank range. Also, you may wear any armor up to and including chain, and use any weapon. They may not use shields. Archers have a chance of causing a critical strike upon a target per experience level when using any missile weapon, longbow or shortbow. As I said, A critical strike equals, oh, never mind, 3 times the normal damage caused for the weapon used. Okay, so it is 3 times, not 2 times. Still pretty decent. Um, so advantages: you possess a plus 3% chance at critical strike per level with bows, longbows, and short bows, comparable only to assassins' critical strike chance, which I think which assassins only get that critical strike chance with melee weapons, and of course. In addition to their expertise with bows, you can also use any other weapon type, especially helpful for melee coverage, and especially helpful when you break your bowstring and you just have to, well, use whatever you got. And you can wear up to chain armor. Disadvantages? You have the second lowest possible health points gain out of all warrior classes, D16, only above monks. And you may notice that in my How to Arena video, I mentioned monks being a trap class. This points out a little bit of that, and also you cannot use any type of shield as an archer. Now, notes. They are characterized primarily by their skill with bows. Archers are capable of using any weapon type, just without a chance of a critical strike for non-missile weapons. Archers should thus always keep at least one melee weapon on hand for close combat situations. Or, in my opinion, whenever your bowstring breaks, because you can shoot enemies at point-blank range with little issues. Now, speed is a particularly useful attribute to focus on for archers, as speed determines how quickly arrows can be shot with a bow. Now, it may be beneficial to try to find or buy enchanted items with cast light, as this will help with aiming and firing at enemies at range in dark dungeons. Yes, so you do want to have a good light source so you can light up the area, and you do of course want to level speed a decent bit, though you still want to level up plenty of agility, just like with any other class. Now that we've read the basic description of archers in the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, without further ado, I think we should get into Arena and playtest the archer class for ourselves. Alright, and here we are. Time to select our class. Of course, we are playing an archer today. And of course, we're going to need a good name for our archer. And what better than, well, I guess making Merida herself from... since I use that scene to, show off the baseline of what an archer is like. Race, of course, rarely matters. Though Wood Elves are honestly some of the best, is one of the best races for playing just a basic little, sneaky archery build. However, actually, yeah, because I think there's a bug, though, when I looked through, I wonder if maybe they did a recent patch. I'm gonna play a Nord. I'm just gonna play a Nord because, playing as a Dunmer is the safest bet. It's hard to know for sure. I would have to do thorough playtesting with the Red Guards and Wood Elves to see if the Steam version of Arena actually allows you to do a proper archer build. Now, of course, we do want to have a decent bit of speed. We also want to have a good amount of agility. In fact, we might want to do a full reroll, actually, so let's reroll. Get some better oh, wow, that's even worse. Yeah, we do want to make sure that we get at least above a 50 agility and at least above a 60 speed. If not by a lot, then by, just by enough. Barely matters how much, so of course we're just going to re-roll Scum until we get our desired results right quick. And of course you can also see that we have 38 health. This probably, yeah, that just jumped down to 33. That's pretty decent, actually. Oh, but, actually, yeah, that could actually work. Hang on. So, we could use yeah, you know what? We can get a 60 speed and a 60 agility like that. And then we have another 2 points to spend. We'll put into endurance, so we have a 33 health pool. You know, we don't really need intelligence. That's really our dump stat. In fact, that's actually our lowest stat. That's the only stat that's below 50. And yeah, having stats like this is pretty good to have. So we're going to save our stats. And of course, we're going to make Merida a redhead because, well, we're playing as Merida today. And we're going to shoot for our own hand. And we're just going to jump right into it. Of course, we already know what Rhea wants us to do, to run across the hallway and go to the other side to hit the shift gate. We're going to, of course, equip our broadsword. Looks pretty nice in that hand there. I like the golden crossguard. And, of course, we have 700 starting experience, a bit of starting gold. We got a key right here that we can take to open up our cell. And I want to see if we can actually get a bow before we even leave this dungeon. Because, of course, the only real gimmick with archers is you want to get a bow about as soon as possible because, well, bows do the most damage, so there's no reason why you wouldn't want a bow as an archer. And, of course, we're going to have to save scum here a little bit, but I'm not going to do this too much just until we either get some sort of magic armor item or a bow. Only things we really need, and look at that, like plate boots and a steel helm. We can't even use that stuff. Like, that's just for selling at that point. No reason to even bother with that. That's useless armor. Alright, amulet and flail. Let's see what this amulet is all about. A -3, that'll work. You know, that gives us some +5s across the board. This flail is 2 to 14 versus my broadsword of 1 to 12, so we could actually use this flail, and it'll at least deal some more damage. And now we're going to save. Probably cut a lot of it out, but I did get like a -3 torque earlier, and I decided to reload instead of dropping a save. And it does seem like we're not getting any enemies here. Interesting. Oh, but we got the goblins spawning in. Let's go ahead and smash through them with our flail here. Just flail around like we mean business, because we mean business. And as you can see, we already don't really have a lot of health, which is sad. However, we can run forward, get in this niche, and not be able to rest. That sucks. We can smash this goblin to pieces, then get back in this niche. And now can we rest? Enemy still nearby, okay. Yeah, so health is a bit of an issue, especially in the early game, because of course in the early game you don't really have a lot of armor, and a lot of enemies can tear through you in seconds if you aren't careful or lucky. Then of course there's this little niche where the rats run up to you, but you know, you can just smash through them. I mean, we got a flail. Flails are good at just flailing and crushing everything. And of course I can still hear rats, so that means we can't rest. Yeah, but archers do have their ups and downs. One major down is the fact that, oh, we did get a level of experience, so at least we're leveling up. And look at that, 36 health. And we're going to throw these points. Where to throw these points? I guess throw it into speed, because we need to be able to move as fast as we can and be able to shoot as many bows as we can. And now we're just going back into this shift gate, drop another save, and we're going to try and rest Scum to heal up and, of course, get more experience from killing enemies. Maybe we'll even be able to get some armor off of a bandit. Of course, warrior classes, like archers, monks, I guess assassins kinda count since they're a bit of a combat class, so they're like a thief combat. They have a better chance at least killing bandits. So, you know. And of course there are some mage classes that are hybrids. Like, look at this, we got a bandit right now. And of course, in the last episode, we got our... Okay. Ah! Yeah, in the last episode, we got absolutely annihilated as an acrobat. And we just got ourselves a full set of chain armor. Already. Now, as you can see, we got +5s across the board. At least that's at the moment. And it looks like we got -1s across the board, except for our shoulders and head. Still need to find a helmet and 2 pauldrons, though we can just do that at our first town, really. And we're going to, of course, keep save scumming and rest scumming here to get as much experience as possible. And, of course, oh wow. Takes really, oh, yeah, 2 bandits in a row. This is a death. I can already tell you this is a, yep. I didn't even need to continue there. Merida didn't shoot for her own hand for long, huh? Oh well, let's get back in there. Let's get back in there and keep going. We can at least get some experience. I know that I've been able to at least a few times in this game. I managed to get to like level 3 before, and I think there was one playthrough I managed to get all the way up to level 5 before I left the tutorial dungeon. So it is possible to rest Scum until you're leveled up as much as you need. And we don't have any enemies? What? Huh. And this is going to get us the cutscene that's going to reveal Fang Lair, yada yada. I am now healed. It's healthy, it's 10 in the morning. Let's get out of here and go to Skyrim. Oh, another holiday device, yeah. Always like Winter Star. Now, we are here in a town. And there's plenty to do, and as an archer, we don't really have the highest stealing skill, because of course it's a warrior class. And, well, we can probably get some good gear just if we find an equipment store, which there are most certainly a few around. Man, this music gets me every time. Well, anyways, we got an equipment store right here. Barely matters what equipment store you enter, as long as they have equipment that they store. Then you can store your equipment from the equipment store. Now, time to sell basically everything that we're not going to use. That'll, of course, get us a bit of money. We really need money. And we need more time. More time and money means, well, more equipment. Yeah, toner only costs 1 gold, like we would ever use that. Now, of course, we can get some good armor here. Chain armor and leather armor are cheap as dirt. We can get a shoulder for like 30 gold. We can probably counter that to 25. Oh yeah, we can probably counter that to 22 actually. 22? What about 21? 22? I'll take 25. Alright. You know, just buy a couple of pauldrons. We just bought a left pauldron. We can buy a right pauldron. And we're going to, of course, buy it for 22. That's going to drop it down to 26. We can buy it for 22, drop it down to 24. And then we're going to buy ourselves a helmet. And then move on to looking at a good bow to buy with less than 100 gold, maybe. Now, let's see here. I'll probably drop this down to maybe 25. Maybe 26. Maybe 27. Maybe 28. If you do this, you can at least find... Okay, so 29 is the lowest it goes. You can at least feel out what the best... Oh. Okay. Yeah, if you fail enough barters, he'll just get mad at you like that. You can at least feel out where the price range actually is and where you can haggle. And you can drop a 40 gold item down to 30, which is always nice. Now, we're going to haggle for a weapon. And of course, this guy has a short bow. Does he have a long bow? Let's see here. Looking around, he has a lot of weapons on him. Quite the selection, including a longbow, for 20 gold. We're going to go ahead and buy this for, I guess, 28? We just agreed on 28. No problem. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish our full selection here. So we're, of course, going to equip the pauldrons and the helmet. That's going to drop us to -1s across the board, and we can just equip the longbow. Look at that beautiful beam footage. Now, we have a longbow. Bows in this game are quite fun, are quite hilarious, just to look at when it comes to Arena, because, I mean, just look at this. This is what your weapon screen will look like for the full time, and I mean, you don't need to buy arrows in Arena. You just get arrows instantly. Basically, you consume durability instead of consuming arrows, while getting full range and damage. And of course, a longbow does 2 to 12 damage, so that does anywhere with a, let's see here, currently 6% chance. We'll do anywhere from, let's say, 6 to... Here, let me get out the calc... you know, like, it does a good bit of damage. 36. So, yeah, 6 to 36 damage. Not bad. Not bad. Can definitely, do some damage. At least for a decent weapon. Of course, if you were an assassin, then it would definitely be better just to have melee options. And of course, the game suggests you should have melee options as an archer in case you get enemies coming up close to you in melee, but you can kind of just deal with melee enemies at a range. Now, of course, I guess what we could do, I guess I could try and see if we can get an artifact quest for Ariel's bow, because, well, Ariel's bow is a pretty good weapon to get. I do believe you have to just ask general rumors, and no, nothing, huh? Eventually, you would get like an artifact quest, so it's like a small percentage based off of your level, up to level 20, and then it just kind of caps out, and it's like a, and, you know, but you can literally get any artifact quest at any level. And it seems like this guy knows absolutely nada. Okay, well, anyways, I guess perhaps in a later video I could artifact hunt for every artifact and review them at some point. Let me know if y'all want to see that. But in the meantime, we're going to, of course, tackle the very first dungeon. We have to go to, I do believe it's the city of Rehad. Rehad. And we're going to, of course, need to find and talk to Queen Lubomka, so we can go deal with some gobos and stone fort. And of course we can just see how powerful the archer class actually is. And of course we may want to eventually get a artifact with a light spell on it. Maybe we could find the Mages Guild in Rahad and see if we can get, I don't know, like a crystal mark or something. A crystal mark or ring with light on it, you know? Maybe we'll find it on our way out from here. But of course we are going to need to grab this quest first, so that way we just have the place unlocked. So let's go ahead and grab it, and we're going to head on out and find ourselves a Mages Guild. And then see if we can find something with light on it, because of course we have no actual access to spells ourselves, and would need access to spells via, well, via actually getting magic items. North of here, okay. So we'll just travel north for a bit and find ourselves a Mages Guild. And yeah. The Mages Dogus Guild. Is that it right there? Nope. Weapon stores. And of course I just realized we probably don't have a lot of money for getting magic items. But that's fine, because we can get money from the first dungeon. And plenty of it, trust me. In fact, we can probably see some stuff better if we look at our map. That does look kind of like it might be a Mages Guild. So let's go ahead and check it out. In fact, we can actually just ask, can't we? I mean, we got closer to it. West, okay, cool. So we did miss it a little. So we'll check west a little. And maybe we'll find it in this direction. It's really just kind of a game of like hot, cold, you know. And it looks like this might be it right here, actually. Yep, that's the Mages Guild. We're going to go ahead and hop on into the Mages Guild, speak to this Magister, and see what kind of magnificent magic items he has access to. And oh lord, we have only 58 gold. So yeah, we definitely aren't going to be able to get anything, and it looks like we don't even have access. He doesn't even have a spell, a light spell item. Oh well. And of course, if I remember correctly, all merchants have the same exact inventory across every single save file and across every single game. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and head to Stone Keep and just see how strong being an archer actually is. So of course we can barely see in front of us, however that's perfectly fine, because of course you can shoot enemies at point blank range. I mean, look at that, there's a rat up here. Yep, he was kind of stuck on the wall, so we could just deal with him. Yep, just like that. Yeah, you basically don't even need to actually have any actual distance when it comes to using a bow and arrow. And we just got a torque. Torques are nice. That's a -4. That's actually pretty good. Merida is doing a lot better than our last character. Alright, well, let's see how far we can get. I know that our last class review, we tried going over here to see if we could jump over a wall, and it looks like wolves do a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage. Yeah. So we're not going to have a lot of chances dealing with them, at least quite yet, though it does look like we stand at least more of a chance with enemies. So maybe if we just grind on rats, we can eventually reach the next level and just, you know, kill wolves then. Like, look at this. This is a room full of goblins. In fact, you can just... Oh god, you can just... Oh god. This is quite bad. Maybe... Okay, it does seem like firing a bow at point-blank range doesn't exactly work in your favor, so you do actually have to switch back to your melee. But hey, we got enough experience. Yeah. I mean, I've seen that... Like, I tested and it seemed to do just fine. I guess it's just not consistent, at least all the time. Alright, well... Actually, yeah, we want to get our boat back out. And I guess we should probably save Scum until we fully heal, and then maybe we can go deal with some wolves. And we're diseased.
With you.
Alright. It does seem like it is a little tougher to, it is not quite all that easy to play a warrior class in this game. Of course, it's really hard to go any further than 1 hour without getting enemies. Yeah, it does seem like using a bow at point-blank range, though it is possible, is a lot harder said than done. I mean, we've seen it possible, we've seen it being done, but yeah, it does seem like being an archer in this game does kind of suck. Because there's rarely any chance when you actually need a ranged weapon. I mean, rarely any chance you get to use a ranged weapon in a way that's actually useful. And it does seem like we're running pretty low on health here, and don't exactly have very... Oh. Yep. So yeah, it does seem like Merida here isn't exactly in the best spot. So maybe we should leave the dungeon. I mean, we've done a bit. Might need to go back to Rehad and maybe get an inn for the night. You know, maybe rest up. Oh great, it's dark. And we got goblins fighting us. And we're dead again. Well, you know what? Since... Alright. Yeah, I'm terrible at learning new classes, it seems. However, we can see that there are advantages. I mean, we can shoot around corners. Yeah, look at that. There was an enemy there, I think I actually killed him. We can actually rest again. For a little bit, and we killed a lizard man at point blank range. See, like it's a little inconsistent, but it gets the job done. And I mean, I guess we can save Scum, rest here. You see, like, I guess we might have like some sort of disadvantage at close range, and good lord. How much health is that? 3. That's a little low. We might wanna, you know, like, we definitely need to get an inn for the night. We just need to arrive before it's... What? Oh, well, it's daytime. That's a good thing. We just left the city before we entered fully. This is a church. You know, but we need healing, so we actually need to find an inn. Ugh. Yeah, so playing an archer is definitely pretty difficult. However, it's a lot more doable than playing an acrobat. Acrobats are actually really hard to play, though being an archer is a little easier. You know what, it seems like the classes that have slower experience tables seem to be typically are easier to play than some of the classes with higher experience tables. Though some of the classes with higher experience tables are usually and by higher I mean like classes that level up faster, are usually the kind of characters that are like thieves and don't really get all that much health or all that much combatively. Now we're going to go ahead and get a room. We're just going to get a single. We're going to stay, I guess, a couple of days because, oof, I'm going to counter that to 15. No, 14. Nope. 15. Let's just accept 16, and we're going to go ahead and, I guess, rest until fully healed. 43 hours have passed. Good lord. Yeah, that's definitely some long healing there. That took a really long... Yeah, healing rate is definitely pretty low for the archer class, it seems. Other than that, guess we could drop a save here and go back to Stonekeep. Maybe we can give it a second shot, see if these wolves are a little easier if we have a bit of extra health. Yeah, and I guess leveling up more is just going to help us out a little more. Of course, it seems inconsistent when it comes to shooting enemies, because sometimes, yeah, you can shoot an enemy at point blank range, sometimes you just can't. And I mean, I know I've tested it with my stealth archer build video, and you know, I've seen that was a little inconsistent there, though there is a whole build with that where you can just trap enemies on the other side of an area and just kind of shoot at them from a distance, and you can kind of just shoot at enemies that are on islands that they can't reach you from and gain the same benefit as that. So it is kind of being an archer is kind of useful in certain areas, though honestly you can achieve the same goal with spell casting. So yeah, I guess we can now see if we can deal with these wolves in here. Wolves seem to do a good bit of damage, though I'm guessing it's one of those things where maybe if we're good enough, we can do more damage and just shoot through them all. And yeah, this is literally just like playing Doom. You're just shooting at enemies and getting enemies on you at point blank range. And dying. Great. With you died. Well, anywho, wolves are quite dangerous. Now, I guess we can see, I mean, I haven't even seen a single critical strike yet. Let's just pull out our flail and see what difference it makes, just using a melee weapon as an archer to fight these same wolves. If we use our flail, we do deal more damage, it seems, and are able to just clear through them a little faster. So, yeah, I guess in the early game, as an archer, oh wow, we can smash through them very quickly. Another level up. Another point in agility, that bumps us to +3 to hit and defend. And I guess we can put, I guess more points into endurance. You know, start getting that up. We do want to have more fatigue, more health. We got 52 health, it looks like, which is decent. And I know that there are bedrooms in here. And I do know that in my acrobat video, I was going to try and go through a bit of a secret room, though these wolves absolutely annihilated my acrobat character. So we're going to back up into this corner. I actually can't believe Merida was able to clear through that. She's actually kind of a badass. Now we're going to heal up. As you can see, sleeping on a bed is definitely better than sleeping on the floor. You know, that should go without saying, but you know, it is what it is. Now I do wonder if maybe we can actually reach the area without being an acrobat. I know you can actually reach it with levitation. And oh, it's a weaker torque than what I currently have. Oh well. But yeah, I'll at least show off what I was trying to do in my acrobat video. Because of course, acrobats do have the I just realized it's actually small enough that you can probably jump it from the bed. Yeah, but acrobats do have the benefit to jump up higher walls like these without needing to actually use extra platforming, but I'm realizing now that this secret area here that skips half the dungeon, you can jump it just with the bed. And of course it loops around. So yeah, you can actually yep, and there's skeletons here. Skeletons are definitely tough. I definitely wouldn't be able to get through these guys normally. And it does seem like there is a skeleton over here. I can barely see the shadow of him. And since he's stuck, you know, this is actually what the benefit of being an archer is. Now that we have a stuck skeleton over here, we have access to a bow that we can just shoot at him while he's stuck. You can eventually hear clinks of me just having arrows clink off of his blade. But you can also hear just bang, bang every now and then from, yeah, like that, like punching sounds. Critical strike! Hey, we did a critical strike, guys. And we got another level experience. We can probably grind some skeletons, actually. Ooh, do I level speed or agility? I'm going to level speed, because that increases missile reloading. And now we can, I guess, see how fast. Yeah, you can see that as we're leveling up our speed, our bow and arrow does fire a bit faster, which is nice. And of course, sitting up on high avenues like this is also pretty good for being an archer, because there are some spots where enemies just can't reach you, but you can still sit there. And I mean, if you have a bow and arrow, and if you do critical damage with your bow and arrow on every now and then you know, like it can definitely be a few benefits to that. Though I do think it does seem like the way you play at Archer is you pull out your melee weapon for of course most of the game, but of course in the certain areas where you actually get an enemy that's on an island a little farther away. And I mean, look at that, our weapon also swings a bit faster too. So on top of our bow and arrow being extremely deadly, our flail also swings a bit faster as well as an archer who's just leveling speed a bunch. So yeah, leveling speed and agility in this game is like insane. Now, there are ghouls that spawn on that island, though they usually just spawn whenever you approach the island. I wonder if I can load them in and then get to this island and then just shoot at them later. So here, we're going to actually test this. In fact, let me drop save because I'm confident. I mean, we have plenty of health. In fact, I can probably even rest on this island just to fully heal up. There we go. Enemies nearby. We just got ourselves a magic user, it looks like, because she kind of just sat there for a second. Okay, I guess Nightblade. So yeah, magic user. She was going to shoot a firebolt if I didn't close the distance. So lucky me. Yeah, but you do also want to have potions of like magic immunity and stuff like that to, I guess, elemental immunity and stuff. Ranged options, so you can actually sit there and let magic users attack you. And yeah, if I stand here, I guess the ghouls appear once you get on the island, so tell you what, I'm going to climb back up here. We're going to see if I can actually make the jump from this island to that island. I think an acrobat could pull it off, but I'm not too sure. Yeah. Yeah, and as you can see, climbing up this thing. Yep, ghouls. As you can see, ghouls do a bit of damage and are a bit annoying. However, we can jump away from the ghoul, go to this island. You can still hear the ghoul, and you can actually see him in the distance because there's light behind him lighting the way, so you can actually see the void, the phantom void of the ghoul. And now we can pull out our bow. And, you know, Merida's shooting for her own hand. And of course we can just rapid fire because we have such high speed. Though it does seem like... Oh, critical strike. Nice. Took him out. Boom. Headshot. Yeah, so that seems to be the main advantage. You can spawn enemies on farther away islands, and then just jump to another island, and just shoot at them from a distance. Though this is a pretty niche use, because, well, this doesn't always happen, it's not always the case, and it seems like we're really going to level up our, oh wow, that was a thief. We're going to level up a lot over here just by doing rest scum like this, and I mean, shoot, we can probably even just get the first item, the first artifact. So yeah, you know what? Here, let's see how many ghouls we can actually take out with this strategy. I mean, it's definitely a strategy. We don't jump the farthest as an acrobat, but you know, we jump farther than most, I guess. And as you can see, more ghouls. Does a lot of damage, but we can, and we can't really hit them too often. But we can escape to the water. The ghoul's still out there. It is possible that ghouls spawn indefinitely in that area, though the ghoul island seems like it can be perfect grinding spot for archers. I guess you do have to wait for the tings, or at least wait a second, because if I rapid fire like this, I don't even hear tings. Though it is possible that I'm still hitting, and yeah, every now and then you get a critical strike. And I mean, it just goes up and up as you level up, so bow and arrow is definitely pretty good, especially in the hands of an archer. But yeah, the ghoul island here is a bit annoying, it does seem, because some of these ghouls, well, they can definitely take a beating. But this is definitely a good way to level up. You know, hearing that faint level up sound makes me wonder if maybe the level up sound actually goes off of enemies, because that level up sound was a little faint compared to others. And yeah, we just got 70 agility, so that's +4 to hit and +4 to defend. So we can dodge a bit more, and of course we get 71 health. That's pretty good health already. And I mean, shoot, I guess we can drop a save, see how point blank archery goes for us, now that we're a much higher level. And oh, you can also use left click to see what enemies are where, and kind of just deal with enemies. I guess he's dead? Huh. Yeah, because you can hear a lizard man. Oh, lizard man there. And I wonder if he's saying lizard man. Yeah, it kind of sounds like he's saying lizard man when he does this little... It's like, lizard man. Pokemon, I swear. What a Pokemon. Uh, lizard man, lizard man. Oh, I guess he's here now. And I guess he's dead now. I mean, yeah, this is definitely one way to level up and heal and... yeah. Well, it seems like being an archer is actually pretty nice. I guess we can even try to... I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to see if I can make it all the way to the artifact just by now. Because, I mean, I can't really take out the ghouls too easily, but, like, I can run past them. I can jump into the water. And, I mean, they might chase after me and make it harder, but, like... Yep, and I'm diseased. Okay. Well, that sucks. Am I dying? Wait, what? I just dropped to 4 health. Good lord, my strength is low. Here, let's reload. And you know what? I guess we can end the video here. Because, I mean, we've tested it out a good bit. We've tested the Archer class out a good bit. So I guess my final thoughts. Archer. Definitely a lot better than I expected. I mean, we're already level 6 before I even knew it. We got 71 health, which is definitely not bad for any real class. I mean, it's low for a warrior class, second lowest for combat classes, but considering that thief classes are a lot lower than this, and even mage classes are even a lot lower than this, it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's more than half of what a barbarian would be having, would get, so it's really not bad. We deal decent damage. We have a good hit chance. Our speed is phenomenal. I mean, we did technically get a little lucky with some of these magic items, but other than that, I mean, a lot of this stuff you can just easily get right off the start of the game. I mean, I got it all right off the start of the game. I barely put like an hour in this character, and I'm already able to snipe enemies from the other island and just kill them with ease. And I mean, yeah, sure, I can't really see what all's out here, or see what all I'm shooting at, but I mean, the game has enough tools that you can easily just circumvent a lot of downsides and just abuse the fact that some of these dungeons have just islands all around the place. So yeah, like, you can actually do some serious damage as an archer. The only problem is you put all of your points into archery and absolutely none into being able to just mess with your enemy in any real way to make shooting at them any easier. I guess you could get a magic item with paralysis on it and just, paralyze an enemy and shoot at them while they're stuck there in place. But other than that, I'd say archers are pretty decent. I'd give them a solid 8 out of 10. Like, Archer is pretty good. I actually like the Archer class now. Just playing through this a little bit, I might actually just do an Archer casually, just see if I can beat the game with just a basic Archer. And the skill floor for an Archer, I mean, I'd say it's around medium. Like, you need to actually know what equipment you're getting and where to run to and what to do. Like, where to position yourself, but other than that, like, this is a pretty good class. It's pretty busted, considering the fact you do so much damage from a distance. And I mean, you can see enemies in the dark without light just by left-clicking to investigate. And the skill ceiling, I'm pretty sure that skill ceiling is, like, through the roof for archers. So yeah. Those are my thoughts on the Archer class, and I do believe this is going to be a good place to wrap this up. So this has been your bro Frostbrew, and I'm going to have to catch you on the next one. Later!